it's OT Marley here. Today I'm going to show you some activities you can do in your kitchen using just tape. This space isn't always used by our kids, but it's a great space for them to learn, grow, and play. This first idea is a classic game of hopscotch. It's really easy to make if you have this kind of floor with the squares already drawn out. If not, I'd recommend drawing it out with kids in advance. Both ways you could draw that pattern in advance and then putting it on the floor together. Have them put the tape down. Have them try to match the lines perfectly. And then you can use this as a gross motor activity to jump through them all. You could use it as a number learning activity if you labeled them. You could use it all kinds of ways, and you can make different shapes. You could make lengths that curve around. I love hopscotch for kids. It's classic for a reason. This idea uses the same squares from hopscotch, just rearranged. So I'm going to take some of my favorite stuffed animals and try to aim and throw at the different spots. You can put different numbers, so there's different values associated with each. That activity is great. I always have kids help with setup. I help to have them move the tape. I have them problem solve with me, and I let them take their time. I find a lot of parents will kind of rush through setup because they want to play the really fun game, but the setup often is the important part for kids to learn in a game too. I like to do this with the throwing. I also love to do a little bit of spacing so you can practice some jumps between them. You could try to play a tag game if you had enough space to space them out where you have to jump between and tag each other. I think there's a lot of options for making this game really fun for kids. This idea features tape being made into a road. This road can either be ran around or kids can use a little car to drive around it. You can see my kitchen's fairly small, and I think it even works in this space, both for running, teaching kids to be safe in small spaces and running around corners but not running into things, and then also to play with cars. I like to put in like Legos and blocks and build a little town in the middle, rivers or animals. It is an endless possibilities to the fun you can have making a track. This activity uses bubble wrap if you have any, but this is to create a sensory path, a way for your feet to get all kinds of funny sensations. So I just use bubble wrap, and you can use your toes to pop it. You can walk across it. You can kind of use anything you have in your house that might be interesting texture on feet. The last activity with some tape in your kitchen will involve you getting a little crafty. I drew out shapes of different fruits, vegetables, and other foods, and I'm going to tape them to different parts of my kitchen where I would store those foods. You also could do this sorting them in the squares that we made earlier, or putting them on the track, or playing hopscotch to the different parts. There's lots of ways you can use just like paper cut out into different food shapes. The activity of making the fruits is really fun for kids too, because they get to trace or copy the shape that you make, and then they get to cut and they get to label and decorate if they want. They can make their favorite foods, or maybe make some foods that you're trying to get them to eat, like broccoli. Most of the foods here I keep in my fridge. I use the tape to secure them to the fridge, kind of at kid level where they could do this activity. I put this banana with my fruit bowl, although right now I don't have any bananas, and the flour up in my cabinet where I keep it. If you kept it down low, that might be fun for kids too. Thinking about the things they have access to, making those cutouts, and then adding them to your kitchen. So there you have it. 5 things you can do with just tape, a couple other things in your kitchen. If you use any of these things, comment below which ideas that you used or that your kids liked best, and like and subscribe to Innovative for more content like this.